Randy the Rutabaga Goes to Flight School. Written by Bepa Amit. Illustrated by Bepa Amit. Randy the Rutabaga was over at Bepa's for Veterans Day cookout. Randy and Bepa thought about all the men and women that had fought and died for our country. And that got them to thinking about how Randy had met Bepa at flight school oh so long ago. Way back in 1972, almost 50 years ago, Bepa had a dream. He wanted to fly helicopters in the Army. Now, he had never flown in a helicopter or ridden in a helicopter and had only flown in an airplane once in his whole life. But for some reason, Bepa wanted to fly one of those dang helicopters. So Bepa joined the Army so he could learn to fly helicopters. That's Bepa way back when. Around the same time, in a farmer's field, Randy the Rutabaga dreamed that he wanted to fly helicopters too. He had seen the wonderful helicopters flying over the fields he had grown up on and thought, this is for me. But how? Well, it seems that Randy had conducted a secret mission for the United States that was successful. Rendo, Special Agent. President Nixon had told Randy that if he ever needed anything, just ask. Well, Randy contacted President Nixon and told him how he wanted to fly helicopters. President Nixon called down to his generals to make it happen. And the next thing you know, attention to orders, Department of the Army. Rutabaga, Randy no social security number. You are hereby authorized to attend Warrant Officer flight training with PFC Richard G. Amit as your sponsor. Due to you being a Rutabaga, the flight physical and accompanying physical requirements are hereby waived. The people of the United States have great faith in your ability to accomplish this training. President Richard Nixon has expressed his full support in your service to this great country. By orders of the Secretary of the Army, John Rambo, General. Whoa. Well, that was all Randy needed. He left his Rutabaga patch and headed for Fort Walters, Texas, to meet up with this Richard Amit fellow and start flight training. This is Orlando. This is Boca. And this is Fort Walters training in Texas. Well, Randy and Bepa met at the front gate at Fort Walters and soon became best friends. What Randy and Bepa didn't know was flight school was more than learning how to fly. It was also about how to become officers in the Army. They went to classes that taught them about the Army things and classes that taught them about flying things. But one thing they were not ready for was the room inspections. They had to keep their rooms neat and tidy. Their clothes were neatly hung in the closet and everything else just so. Look at that. Everything's neat and tidy. Randy and Bepa found out what happens when they are not just so. Uh-oh. Look at that. The room's a mess. There's things thrown all over the place. Oh, Randy doesn't look too happy. Randy and Bepa remembered that they came to learn to fly, and cleaning up their rooms again and again would not stop them. They got better at cleaning and soon found themselves getting ready like real pilots. They got their flight helmets and tried them on. Next was flight line and the helicopters. At one time, Fort Walters was the biggest heliport in the world. Wow, look at all those helicopters. First, they started on small helicopters. Then they found out that they would be in a test group to fly modern helicopters right away. Oh, look, that's Bepa now. They learned the name of every part and what it did. It was part of what was called the pre-flight inspection. Well, check this. Look at that. What's that up there? I better learn what it is. Oh, I see. Then they learned what every gauge, switch, and button did. They even had to point to it with their eyes closed. Boy, that's a lot of switches and buttons. Oh my. They studied and studied. Every day they had a quiz. Every day you had to get 100%. Now it was finally time to fly. They started off with their instructor pilot. Little by little, day by day, they got better. Until one day, they let you fly all by yourself. They called that your solo flight. And after that solo flight, the whole class would go to the Holiday Inn and throw you in the pool, flight suit and all. Oh my. The sign by the pool, under these rotor blades pass the finest helicopter students in the world. And they did that from 1956 to 1973. After we soloed, the learning never stopped. Every day we would learn something new. But along the way, many classmates that did not get 100% every day, or just couldn't get it, left the class. Randy and Bepa got it and stayed with the class. There's the class picture now. Can you see Bepa in the front row? 1, 2, 3 from the left. We learned to fly different helicopters and to fly in formation. And then after one long, hard year, we graduated and got our wings. That's Uncle Gary and Bepa. There's Bepa and Randy. Randy and Bepa split up for quite a while after flight school. Bepa became a Cobra pilot. AH-1 helicopter for sale. $2,173,495. Woo! And Randy joined the flying circus. He flew all over the world. People would come from all over to see him fly upside down in a helicopter. There he goes. Whoa! Holy cow, look at that. After many, many years, Bepa and Randy met up again at the place they both loved. That's the Army Aviation Museum at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And guess who was there to learn all about helicopters? The end.